Um, so we were thrilled as junior high parents to start donating to this foundation, knowing that everything that they stood for and what they were being able to do for the school was going to benefit my kids as they went through high school. So I'm going to turn it over to Kay for a minute and let her give y'all a little introduction to Wild for Cats.
Thank you, Mary Hope.
Yes.
She's running the slides. I think I have a few slides to show, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And we also have, so I'm the current chair of Wild for Cats, and then we also have Chris Darwin on the call. He is in charge of fundraising this year, and he's also chair-elect with his wife, Amy. So I'm very excited for them to be taking over next year. It's been a challenging couple of years for us, but if you can go, you have.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Let's see here.
I guess while she's talking or trying to get it to the next slide, here we are, who Wild for Cats is. So I don't know if any of you have heard about us, but a lot of times we get confused, right, with Wildcat Club, which is the athletic booster for the school. And we are, as Mary Hope said, the academic booster for the school. And so we actually started many, many years ago in 2005 by several community leaders in the Lake Highlands area. And we used to be held under the RISD Foundation as our 501c3, and we were under their umbrella. But a very exciting news that happened last summer is that we actually formed our own, with Robin Moss Norcross and Carrie Urban, our own Lake Highlands High School Education Foundation as a nonprofit specific to Lake Highlands High School. So Wild for Cats is basically the fundraising arm of that education foundation to get the word out and raise funds to support academics at the high school. So that is in place now, and we'll share the website in the chat so you can learn a little bit more about that. Our goals are really just to help support the school with what they need in the classroom for the teachers, giving them new tools and new opportunities for the kids to experience, and training opportunities for staff as well. If you can go to the next slide. So we as a group basically do a request, kind of a call for request to staff about twice a year. And then we put that list together, we see what funds we have, and we work with the Education Foundation Board to review that and make recommendations with Carrie Jones and with some of her key staff that help with us on that committee. We've actually dispersed over 1.5 million since we started. We actually, since last, I guess, August, Carrie, I think we've dispersed about $60,000 of items to help support just this first semester of school and get things going. So we're going to start talking again this spring about the next wave of funding. And so really what we need from you all, and as Mary Hope said, junior high is the perfect time to get involved and start learning a little bit more about Wild for Cats and what we do. We have a steering committee that you can be part of. And then again, maybe it's already shared in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat right now, but we'll share the website. And I really would encourage you all to go to the website. There's lots of different levels that you can support us at, but it's the donations from the families in the Lake Highlands High School feeder pattern that keep us going and that support the staff. So I would really encourage you to become a donor, reach out to me or email. There's email on the website if you want to get involved. We're going to start putting our next year's steering committee together, and the more the merrier. And Chris, I don't know if you want to put a shout out there to people to be under your leadership next year, but we'd appreciate your support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you have anything to add before we turn it back to Mary Hope?
No, I think we're good, but we would love to get some parents coming up from the junior high involved with Wild for Cats, and please reach out. We would desperately love to have you come on board.
Yeah, and the one special thing we're doing this year, just to recognize that the foundation's formation was this year, is that, you know, if you're able, we have a founding partner opportunity, and it's $1,000. But you will be recognized for the lifetime, you know, from here on out as a founding donor of the foundation, if you donate at that level. But there's several levels, whatever is comfortable for you. So I'll turn it back to Mary Hope. And again, thanks for attending tonight, and hopefully we'll be back in person next year.
Okay.
Oh, you have more?
Now now my mouse is working. These were some of the recent funding events.
Okay. Yeah. So a wide range of things that we funded. We've helped fund testing, a 3D printer, kits for the science. We support a lot of the extracurricular things like academic decathlon and mock trial, and field trips, furniture, you name it, we're willing to fund it as long as it supports academics at the high school.
Okay. Thank you, Kay, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay. And there is the QR code, and I will get that in the chat for us.
Yeah, and make sure that's not the old website, because I think this slide maybe wasn't updated.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll put
I'll
the
get
link in the chat.
Yep. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Okay. Now I would like to introduce to y'all Carrie Jones, our amazing principal of Lake Highlands High School, and let her just give a little bit of information about what's going on at the high school.
Yeah, I have a quick slideshow. So let me, okay, hold on. Okay. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
The LHHS, okay, perfect. Okay, so as Mary Hope said, my name is Carrie Jones, and I'm the principal at Lake Highlands High School. First of all, thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your night to spend with us. We're really excited to tell you about the school and of course about everything going on there, and then Wild for Cats. So first of all, we have an administrative team of 9 at our school. And let me move this so I can see. Okay, so we have Detrice Thomas. This is her 3rd year with us. She is coming from Liberty Junior High, where she was a reading specialist, and I met her when I was an assistant principal at Liberty for about 3 months. Tommy Lambert actually went to Lake Highlands High School. He taught at Lake Highlands High School. His sister is Becky, the principal at White Rock Elementary, and so we were able to bring him over 2 years ago. He was a teacher and a soccer coach at Pierce. Dr. Ruffin is the legendary educator on our campus. This is his 58th year, I believe, in education. And so when Dr. Ruffin speaks, we listen. A lot of times his stuff is way over my head, but then like 2 or 3 days later, I can process and I can get it. But we love having Dr. Ruffin and his wisdom on our team. Casey Gray, is our associate principal. We've actually worked together for 16 years. We started together at Forest Meadow. It was his first year teaching ever. He was a social studies teacher and ball and basketball coach, and I was starting out as an assistant principal. Tessa Pettigrew is our senior administrator, and so she's responsible for everything that goes on with our seniors. She used to teach at Lake Highlands High School. She went to Forest Meadow as an assistant principal, and then we were able to bring her back as an assistant principal on our campus. Kendall Hutchinson, we got Kendall 2 years ago from Mansfield ISD. She actually got married and her husband lives right down the street. So they blended their family, and they have, let me go back, hold on. They have 2 at the high school, 1 at Moss Haven and 1 at Forest Meadow. So we're happy to have her. Marion Wiles and I worked together at Forest Meadow. Actually hired her as a special ed teacher, phenomenal teacher. She got picked up by one of the ACE schools and then started working on her admin cert. And so I was able to bring her back as an assistant principal. And then Masood Shamsuddin, amazing administrator. He spent some time in Central working in CTE and then was able to come and join us at our campus. So we have a great team. There are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of us. I always forget, but we definitely believe in doing what's best for kids. We are very much a family, and so we really enjoy being at Lake Highlands and working with everyone. Okay, this is just me. Whenever I am listening to someone talk, I always want to know about them, and I really don't pay attention what they're saying until I learn more about them. And I'm also very nosy, so I just like to learn about people. I'm going to give you all the quick, like 1-minute introduction to Carrie Jones. This map up here, Kansas, is in red. I was born Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Some of y'all might know that as the federal prison. We had no affiliation with the prison at all. It's just where my parents or my dad was stationed. He ended up spending almost 30 years in the Army. And so he retired as a colonel. And then my mom is a former math teacher who's now a professor at Incarnate Word. They've retired in San Antonio. And so I have the moving box because we moved about every 4 years, born in Fort Leavenworth, then moved to Fort Sam in San Antonio, then moved to Germany, then moved back to Fort Sam, then moved to West Point, New York, then moved back to Fort Sam, and then I went to school in Arkansas. I taught math when I first got into education. I had no plans of becoming a teacher. I was actually a college recruiter in corporate America. And at the age of 23, I was laid off and I was filing for unemployment. And so a friend suggested that I go into the DISD Alt-Cert program. And so I taught 7th and 8th grade math at Franklin Middle School, which feeds into Hillcrest High School. So it's not too far. I taught there for 5 years, and then I was hired at Forest Meadow Junior High as an assistant principal. I have a husband, Nathan, and we've been married for 18 years. And then we have a daughter, Parker, who is 12 and will be 13 next month and keeps reminding us that she's closer to 13 than 12. So she prefers that we say 13. We have 2 4-legged children, George and Maggie, our 2 dachshunds. And then this is Max. He is a Bowflex Max. He's another member of our family that I'm trying to have a closer relationship with daily, but it's not working right now. But that is my goal, that we become closer and that I spend time with him every day. So hopefully that'll happen soon. I got my bachelor's degree from Ouachita Baptist University in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, a major in sociology, a minor in accounting. And then I went to Henderson State University, which is also in Arkadelphia, and got my MBA with an emphasis in marketing. Went into corporate America, got laid off, the teaching cert, and then ended up going to Texas A&M University Commerce to get my principal certification. I'm in the Book of the Month Club. I don't know if y'all know Matt Smith, who used to teach at Forest Meadow, an English teacher. He got me hooked on that, so he makes sure that I read at least 1 book a month. I'm very big on asking how might we make this experience better? How might we change this up to benefit our kids and benefit our parents? How might we do this differently just for good? And so I'm always asking those questions. I'm always very big on change as long as it has a perfect purpose, but I do believe in being bold and being a risk taker. Sleep matters. One goal in my life to get more sleep. I just don't, because I'm always just doing stuff. I love Amazon. The fact that you can order something and it can be on your doorstep a few hours later amazes me. In fact, I just ordered something yesterday and I got it today. And then having been at Fort Sam so many times and my parents retired there, I'm a huge Spurs fan. So every time I go home in basketball season, we get our Spurs tickets and we go to the game. So why Lake Highlands High School? Number one, people love it here and they come back. We have so many parents who attended Lake Highlands and graduated from there. We have teachers who graduated from Lake Highlands. It's just a great place. And the fact that people come back, I feel, is huge. We have a very diverse campus. When your kids are there, they're going to meet people from different countries, different academic levels, different socioeconomic statuses. It's a great reflection of the real world, and it's a great chance to just meet everybody and get to work with so many different people. We have wonderful course offerings, whether you are in GT, AP, Special Ed, 504, ESL. We're going to do our best to make sure that you have the best experience there, and we do have some excellent classes. We also have some really amazing teachers who believe in doing what's best for kids and like kids. That's the most important thing I ask when we hire. Do you like children? Again, we have people who care about your child and they care about your child's high school experience. There are also many activities and options on our campus. And so your kids kind of find their group, and they find their lane, and then they end up having a great high school experience. If they haven't found their group, we really work hard to expose them to all of the things we have to offer on our campus. The environment, we really focus on a loving environment as soon as you walk in the door. When you walk in the door in the mornings, either in the L building or in the hub, You're going to be greeted by teachers and administrators. We always say good morning. Sometimes we have music going, we'll do high fives, whatever, but we believe in starting the day with a positive message and them hearing something positive from the adults that come to their, or from the adults that are at their school. So it's all about feeling the love, and we hope that our kids and even our parents feel the love when they walk on our campus. We have 2 main buildings, and then they're connected by the hub. This is kind of scary, but this is the first floor of the L building. The second floor looks pretty similar to this area right here. And then we have the H building, which is actually 3 floors. It's the old freshman center, if you're familiar with that. The building is huge. I still get confused. I may or may not have given kids the wrong directions when they ask where like D Hall is, and I've sent them the other way on accident because sometimes you just forget. But it's a big building that everyone's there to help you. We have signs everywhere, and eventually you get it down and you figure out where everything is. Safety is a huge concern, and so what this is, this white part here is a mobile desk, and then this red is a chair. And so we are stationed all throughout the building to ensure that your kids are safe. There was a period of time, I think it was in October, something was posted saying Lake Highlands is the school of fights. That's all we do every day is fight. I will tell you that that's absolutely not true. We had a tough little period. It was like a 2 or 3 week period. We made some changes. We are always visible now. The administrators actually work in the halls. We don't work in our offices anymore. And then teachers are on duty at these hallway stations. And so we have people located in both buildings on every floor throughout the day. Instruction, that's a huge part of being in school. And we want to provide your kids with the best instruction possible. This year has been different, even with last year having the 90-minute blocks. We're working to make sure that those kids are getting everything they need in the 90 minutes. And then in the 2 classes, 1st and 8th, that are like the 45, 50-minute classes, we want to make sure that they're getting what they need in that short period of time. The goal in every class is to have a complete lesson cycle. So you want to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's an objective, Wildcats will, and then Wildcats will be able to, meaning that this is what we're doing today. And then at the end of the period, we should have accomplished this. We go through the lesson. I'm very big on engagement. And so I don't like it when teachers are just sitting and lecturing. If I'm bored, I know the kids are bored. And if I'm bored, I'll tell the teacher that that was boring. What can we do to make it engaging? I always ask the teachers, what would make a student want to buy a ticket to your class if you were selling tickets, and would you be sold out? And so, you know, some of them can say yes, some of them can say no. If you look at these pictures here, this is just an interactive lab that they were doing in forensics. Below, this was an ESPN activity in world history, and just getting the kids out and about in the halls and working in stations and working with partners is huge. On here, this is our construction class where we have this huge construction facility, and they're actually building half of a room and learning about electricity and I think insulation and everything else that goes into building a house. This is our ceramics class here. The kids love being able to express themselves, and then we love showing their art in our gallery and in our display cases. This is our Japanese teacher using the interactive board to go over vocabulary, and then this is just a fun experience that the Japanese club had. We're just all about giving our kids memorable experiences. At the end of the lesson, I do like to see, or I expect to see, some sort of formative assessment where you're not just ending the class, but you're checking understanding. And you're not saying, okay, did you get it? If you did, put your thumb up. If you didn't, put your thumb down, because I can put my thumb up and have no idea what was taught in the lesson. So we need something where we can actually check for individual understanding. Our teachers will use Post-it notes, so they'll use a Google form. Thanks to Wild for Cats, our tested subjects, Algebra 1, English 1 and 2, US History, and Biology, received all-in learning. So we use little clickers like remote controls, and they can answer a quiz at the end, and then the teacher can check for understanding that way. The importance of that is then to use that information to determine what they're going to do for the next lesson. Do they need to go back and reteach, or can they proceed because the majority of the kids mastered the content? These are just some pictures of our school. We're very, very proud of it. Uh-oh. Okay, wait. Hopefully, I thought I had a picture. Maybe not. Okay, this is some of our new flexible seating that we received. We often move this around throughout the building. We kind of look and see. Sometimes the kids want to hang out here instead of going to class, so we'll remove it and we'll move it somewhere else. But everyone has really enjoyed using this furniture. If you were familiar with the old building, this was the old library. And this mural up here was in the library. I didn't notice it for a long time because it kind of blended in, but it was done by Pablo Milan, who was a student at Lake Highlands High School. We actually had to design this part of the building, which is an extension of D Hall, around this mural because it is worth, or it was insured at $250,000. So we knew not to touch it. And then here's another view of that mural. And again, this used to be the library. Right when you walked in, this was here on the wall. And then this is Pablo Milan when he was at Lake Highlands High School. I think he joined the armed forces, I want to say the Air Force, then ended up settling in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He recently passed, but his work will live on at Lake Highlands High School, and his family was even so happy to see that we did work around that building, or worked around his mural and kept that when we did our new construction. This is D Hall. Again, some of the flexible seating, the teachers, these are science rooms, and the teachers do take advantage of this. They will often have groups of kids working just on different projects and activities, and they'll come out and check on them. They have windows so they can see everything that's going on. This is again just another shot of that, and then you can look inside and see some of our new science rooms, which are beautiful. This is our art wing. It used to be the student center. If you were familiar with that, we had a cafeteria and then we had the student center. And if you look at the floor, they kept the original flooring here, which is pretty neat because I think it just adds to the history of the building. Then you look at the art rooms and they are phenomenal. Glass panels throughout. They're so neat because you can just walk by and see the kids working and you can display the work as well. And so it's a beautiful addition to our campus. This is our hub, and this area here is the cafeteria. This is where the kids eat. Back here, these are our serving lines, and then this is seating for the kids. They love these areas, especially the booths, because they have outlets so they can plug and charge in their cell phones and their computers while they're eating lunch or in the mornings before school. And then this is an aerial view. This was right when we got all of the furniture, so everything's kind of scattered. But this is an aerial view, excuse me, from the second floor overlooking this. And so we have 4 lunches on A and B days and 3 lunches on C days. So it gets pretty full. Kids can go outside if they want to and eat, but we are always able to get everyone in and out of the line, and everyone has a place to sit. So it works out well. Again, these are from last year. You'll see the dots where you keep everyone 6 feet apart, but this is another part of the cafeteria. And so the kids will sit here, have their lunch here, they can charge their device here, and they have a great time during their lunch period. Teachers also use these for classes. They'll come down and host their class in the hub just to get out of the building. And so these are the booths, and then this is where they can charge their devices. These are the learning stairs. This is in the hub as well. There's a projector and a screen that'll come down. And so it's not uncommon for teachers to have classes here. And so it's really neat. And then you're right over here by the window. So it's a nice view that looks out into the courtyard. It's a great way to get out of the classroom and just get in the building and do whatever you need to do to utilize these learning stairs. And then the kids also use them during lunch to eat. This is just what it looks like when the kids are walking through. This is where we were when we took that overhead picture of the hub, and then these are the learning stairs right there. And then if you remember the old building, this is a large gym. This was like a parking lot, and then you'd walk up the stairs to the gym. Well, this is the gym right here. And I know many of y'all have been there for games. This is our courtyard. Kids use this a lot when the weather's nice, and even sometimes when it's not so nice, you'll see a few of them out there, but they love being able to be outside and eat. And then we do have someone out there during all lunches monitoring that area. This is our library and some of the fun seating in there that we often move around to accommodate whatever's going on in the library. And the kids can go there before school and also during lunch, which they love. This is one of our little breakout rooms in the library, and it's not uncommon to see the kids working in here, meeting in a small group, or if the teacher has booked the library, they might use this for a breakout room to be able to work collaboratively with their team members. This is the MAC, our athletics center. It's changed since this picture. It's a little updated, a little more updated, but this is the inside. It's our indoor football field. It's a great space because not only do we use it for athletics, we also use it for fine arts. The band uses it, the Highlandettes use it. So it's a great space. Coach Jordan, our athletic director's office, is in here, as well as the other coaches' offices. So you saw the building in pictures. I know you want to see it in person. So we're going to open up the building on March 10th. Just kind of save the date, but we'll send something out to both junior highs that y'all will remember. And it's just going to be a come and go from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. We will have QR codes at different spots of the building so you can do a self-guided tour, scan the QR code, and then learn about whatever we're trying to show. We'll have student volunteers there. The admins will be there as well. And we just want y'all to see the building, because sometimes you need to see where you're going to be. And I know many people have seen the hub. This will give you a chance to see the L building and the H building, and to kind of experience what our kids go through every day when they're walking to class, because some of them have quite a little hike going from one class to another. And then finally, every Sunday morning at 6:15, and I don't send it at 6:15, I set it to send at 6:15 in the morning. I do a little newsletter called the Wildcat Weekly. And what I do is every week I ask myself what makes Lake Highlands the best school in the world, and then I put it in the newsletter. And so I will put this in the chat. If you would like to sign up, please do. You'll get one every Sunday morning during the school year. And then sometimes during the week, I'll send out different things if we have a reminder, or like we have a spirit night or early dismissal, something like that. So I would love to keep y'all in the loop by signing up for that. And again, I'll put that link in the chat. And that's pretty much it. Just remember, at Lake Highlands High School, we are better together. It's a mix of so many different people and so many personalities, but it is truly an amazing school, and there's honestly no other place that I'd rather be. So I'm excited to welcome your kids next year. And that's it.
Thank you so
I'm a
much.
talker. I talk too much. I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Of course.
You, definitely gave us, I feel like I just went into school. So that
Oh, well, good.
And we are so lucky to have you. We just
thank you.
can't thank you enough. So
thank you.
We really appreciate you and all that you do. I would like to now turn it over to Elizabeth Swanner. She is going to give us a little insight into advanced academic studies.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
The PowerPoint that we're going to be using, because it has quite a few links in it that might be beneficial to you to go and look at additional information, I've just dropped that into the chat so that you will have that. Also, before I start, Carrie, I didn't realize I needed to do a whole PowerPoint slide just on myself. So
no.
I'll give a little information on myself. Next time I know when I come to a meeting with you what I've got to prepare for.
Well, you don't have to know. I'm just nosy and I like to know about people. So I'm like, let me tell them about me. Maybe
I actually was watching this and I was like, that is such a great idea. Why didn't I do that before? So since I didn't prepare one, I'm going to share some of the same things that you shared. So thanks for doing that.
No problem,
for those of you that don't know me, I'm Elizabeth Swanner, and I'm the Executive Director for Advanced Learning here in Richardson. And this is actually my 30th year in Richardson. I started out over at Westwood, where I taught and coached for quite a few years. And then I too was a Wildcat. I worked over at Lake Highlands Junior High for 13 years. Between teaching, I did a little bit of coaching, instructional coaching, became an assistant principal there. And then I moved over to Berkner, where I was the principal of the STEM Academy. And then I had the opportunity to move up to Central to do this work with advanced learning. And if you're not familiar with advanced learning, we actually are a group that oversees quite a few different pieces. We oversee what a lot of you know as the GT department, which is actually our advanced learning programs and services, because they do more than just GT. The AVID department is also inside of our group. And then we do a lot of work with what we're getting ready to speak on tonight, which is a focus on college and career courses. I'm originally from Waco. Unlike Carrie, I didn't have a box. I didn't have to move a lot. My parents were in the military, so we lived there. I was raised right outside of Waco. If you all remember the round bank, when you drive down 35 going into Waco, that's where I was raised, was in that community right around the round bank. So thank you guys again for giving me this opportunity to be able to come in and speak tonight. And I think I have the capability to share, so I'm going to do that real quick. All right, and do you all see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what I also put inside of the chat so that you have access to go back to that and you can follow along, and then you have the ability to get into the different links. So like I said, I'm Elizabeth Swanner, Executive Director of Advanced Learning, and we're going to spend some time this evening because I know it's hard enough to believe that your kids are going from 8th to 9th grade, that you're just trying to think about how to put a high school schedule together and get them all the credits and stuff they need for high school graduation. But believe it or not, there's the opportunity to earn a lot of college credit while our students are in high school. So we want to spend some time this evening, if I can get it to change slides. Here we go. We want to spend some time this evening talking about our different programs that we have for college credit. The first one, it will be College Board. That's probably the one that you're most familiar with advanced placement. That is the one that has been around the longest, and a lot of you probably took AP courses while you yourselves were in high school. The University of Texas at Austin On-Ramps College Course Program, and then our Dallas College Dual Credits. We'll spend a little time talking about some similarities and differences in each one of these, and also discuss what you need to be able to register for the courses. The first one that we're going to talk about is going to be advanced placement. And like I said, advanced placement is overseen by College Board. The College Board courses, they are set by College Board for AP, and they work along with the teachers to set the curriculum. These are supposed to be reflecting what you see in these top introductory college courses. AP courses are open enrollment. That means that any student who wishes to take one has the opportunity to sign up and take an AP course. In order to register for an AP course, when you get your course card, you will see that there are different AP sections on there by subject area, so you can pick the AP course that's specific for you. One of the differences in AP than dealing with the college courses that we get directly through UT or Dallas College is going to be how the college credit is actually earned. To earn a college credit through the AP program, you have to sit and take the AP exam. They will not look at your grade at the end, like on a report card or at the end of the school year. Colleges are not looking at that grade when they're evaluating what the course is going to be eligible for on the college side for college credit. All they're going to look at is simply that AP exam. AP exams are given the first 2 weeks in May, and students sign up for their AP exams in the fall. So when your students come in next year, if any of them are choosing to take AP Human Geography, or maybe they are choosing to take one of our other AP courses, they will actually sign up, pay for those tests in the fall, and then they will sit for that exam in the spring. And like I said, for the college to be able to evaluate, the student decides which colleges they want to share those scores with. They share their AP scores with those universities, and then the universities are the ones who evaluate them, and they make the decisions to which credits they're going to accept and how they're going to accept them. Also, we've put in here a learn more about advanced placement, and that's one of the links if you want to jump into that. Inside of that link, it goes a lot more specific just into AP, like what are some of the benefits of AP, some more information about AP exams, why might you want to take AP? And real quick, I'm going to jump into that. I'm not going to go through this slide by slide by slide, but there are a couple of things in here that I wanted to point out. So here are the basics on AP courses. This is where we were just talking about that a score of 3 or higher is what we normally ask for our students to submit. A lot of you ask, well, what kind of AP courses do you have available? You will see that AP courses are actually available in all of the core subjects, so English, math, science, social studies, but then they're also available inside of world languages, arts, and we have what's called AP capstone courses that are available. Now, the thing is about AP courses is that not every high school offers exactly the same. So you do need to check on your course card to see which of these classes might be offered at Lake Highlands High School. When we get down to the benefits, I wanted to actually skip down because this is really where the questions come for me, is about the myths. Here we go, myths and reality. AP courses for students. Are they only for students who get good grades? And no, that is not the case. These courses are academic courses. We want our students to be prepared for college level work. This gives them an opportunity to do that. So they're open for anyone to be able to take. We do suggest really highly for our 8th grade coming in tonight that you really consider what you're putting your students into, because some of the big differences jumping from 8th grade into 9th grade is that you're going to find that if your student is involved in extracurriculars, especially in the fall, when we're talking about they're picking up some of these things for the very first time, it's a different load than what you're used to at junior high. So if your student's in band at junior high, primarily it's like concert season, that they're in band every period. They're preparing for a spring concert where they go through their UIL piece. But when we're talking about band at high school, we have marching band going on all fall, that a lot of our students, that's a huge time commitment and they're not used to that piece. When we're talking about athletics, where there's practice usually before school or after school, some during the day, and usually 1 game a week. When you get to high school, there's at least 2 games a week. A lot of them have tournaments and things that they're also going to be participating in. So when you're considering what to put your child in, please take that into mind of what are their time commitments now in school with all these extracurriculars, but then also what are their time commitments that you have them in with activities that they do outside of school. So one of the things was, our AP course is stressful. They are rigorous, and especially when you're coming in for the very first time as a freshman and you're taking AP Human Geography, you're taking a college level course. This is not like taking advanced 8th grade US history. This is a college level course that has quite a bit of reading to it. So we want to make sure that coming in, yes, students can do this and they can be very successful, but they need to understand they are going to have to set aside some time to be able to keep up with the workload that is going to come with that course. I don't think I'm going to score high enough on an AP class to be able to put it in for credit. Remember, you don't have to score 5. We're really looking for it to be a 3 or higher to be able to do that. Is AP going to hurt my GPA? AP courses, unlike advanced courses at the junior high, these are worth more quality points when it's coming towards your GPA. Remember, when a student starts after the end of this 8th grade year, beginning in the summer going into 9th grade, if they are taking high school level courses, they will start counting in their GPA. And AP courses do get 10 quality points, because we don't want that to go against the student who is willing to put themselves out there and take a more rigorous course. So we do have the opportunity to earn those additional points to go with that GPA. And I can't take AP because no one has recommended me. Once again, you don't have to be recommended for AP. You have the opportunity to sign up for the course because those courses are open to anyone who would like to take them. The next program that we're going to spend a little time talking about is our newer program. And this program has only been here in RSD now going on 6 years, and it's the University of Texas On-Ramps program. Actually, 7 years ago is when the University of Texas started this program, because what they were finding is a lot of students were coming into college without having the experience of trying out college before they got to college. So this program is actually called a dual enrollment course. And it is a dual enrollment course because the student is enrolled in two places. One, they're enrolled in high school, and second, they're enrolled in college, and they're enrolled as a University of Texas Austin student. When it comes to these classes, though, the students are actually getting instruction from two different people. They get high school from a high school instructor. They're getting college from a college instructor through a distant college course through UT. This means these two grades can look totally different. Your high school grade can look as one grade, and the college grade can look as a totally separate grade because it's being graded by a high school teacher. It's being graded by a college teacher on a college level. The great thing about this program, though, is that it does allow the students the opportunity to not accept college credit. And that sounds kind of strange when you're maybe hearing that for the first time. But this means that a student can actually take this course. When they take it for high school, they have to take it for the high school grade and accept the high school grade. But once they see that college grade, they have the opportunity to either accept or deny their credit. And some parents may ask, well, why would you want to deny credit? Well, if you're a student, and let's say that you want to go into an engineering program and you were taking the pre-calculus math class and maybe you made a C in it, I, as a non-math person, would probably be ecstatic and say, please give me my C, put it on my transcript. But as an engineering student, I don't want to see on a college transcript. So I tell UT, do not put the college credit on there. And when they don't put it on, it's like you never took the class for college credit. It never shows up on a UT transcript. So this program allows our students the ability to take a college level course at the ability of not really a lot of risk for them. They can take it on just the high school side and not the college side. Same thing for this. You're going to see that there's an opportunity to go in and spend a little additional time learning more about on-ramps. The program inside of here, UT puts together a really great PowerPoint program where they go through and they talk about UT on-ramps. And here's what I was just explaining about dual enrollment. 2 different teachers, 2 different classes, 2 different grades, one for a high school grade and one for a college grade. And as you go through, you'll see that there are also many different courses available through UT on-ramps. But this time, these courses are primarily going to be in the core areas, the math, the science, the English, and the histories. They do have a little bit of CTE, but you're going to notice that unlike AP, there's no world languages inside of here. The other thing I'm going to take you down to is there is a chart in here also, if you want to spend some time inside of that, about the myths and realities, which do talk about just the on-ramps program. And probably the largest thing again is that it is open enrollment. Any student can sign up to take this course, and it does allow for them to take the class without having to accept college credit on the back end. And just like with AP, these courses are also worth 10 quality points towards a student's GPA. So coming in as a freshman, you do have the opportunity to take your first on-ramps course, and that would be in math. That we offer an Algebra 2 on-ramps course that aligns to Math 13-14 on the college side, which is college algebra. So if you have any freshmen who are wanting to do that, we recommend that they check into it, because once again, they can take it. If they don't do well on the college side, they don't have to accept the college credit to it. The last one on here that we use is the Dallas College Dual Credit. This program is actually a dual credit program to where our students are signing up as a Dallas College student and an RISD student. But this time, unlike on-ramp, they have one teacher who's doing everything for them. So they have one teacher who is providing instruction. They are receiving one grade. And that means that whatever grade is earned, that grade will go on a college transcript and a high school transcript. So if a student this time is taking pre-cal, for example, they go all the way through to the end of the semester, they make a C in the pre-cal class, they have to accept the credit for that, because Dallas College does not allow the opportunity to deny the college credit like what you see on the UT on-ramp side. Now for dual credit courses, there is one additional piece with this that you don't see in the other programs. These are not open enrollment. In fact, that a student can just sign up to take them. Any student can sign up to take a dual credit course, but they do have to have a passing college entrance exam score to be able to start. For most of our students, that score is going to be a TSI test That's a Texas Success Initiative test, and that is a basic college course or college level test to see which college courses students can start into. So if a student is wanting to take those classes, they are more than welcome to do so, but they do have to have a TSI score for the majority of those to be able to start. So same thing as what you saw on just a moment ago with the others. And that is going to be that we've got a PowerPoint for this too, if it will load, and I'm sorry, it's taking a moment for it to load. It goes through and it talks about the benefits of dual credit. One of the things I did want to point out in here about dual credit is that this is expanding more and more and more. Dual credit started out as primarily just core courses, but our CTE department, our Career Technology Education department, has really picked up the number of courses that students can take for dual credit. And what you will find is that the core courses that a lot of students take are like English and government, economics, US history, math courses, and psychology. But you're going to find that at Lake Highlands, we do have the Wildcat College and Career Academy that Mr. Simmons is going to share some more information about in a moment. And these are very, very specific pathways that these students, when they graduate, have either earned an associate's degree or they've earned a college certificate that they can use to go out for and have for employment. Lake Highlands currently has a pathway built in for architecture and construction. They have one for business, marketing, and finance, and they have one for criminal justice. So when we're talking about dual credit courses here, it is a little bit different because we do have a lot of CTE courses built in. Same thing on here about the benefits. Here's the myths and the realities about it. The biggest difference in this you're going to find is that a student does have to have an exemption score or a TSI score to be able to start a course. If they are wanting to drop the class, they have to drop by the deadline set by Dallas College. And if they are not dropping by the Dallas College deadline dates, then at the end of the semester, they do have to accept that grade. Okay. Some of our parents have been asking, okay, well, let's talk about the GT options inside of these. We do have GT options that are available inside of our AP and on-ramps courses. The reason why they're available inside of those and not inside of dual credit is because in dual credit, remember, they are directly enrolled only as a college student who is also taking it for high school credit. That means everything inside of those courses are directly controlled by Dallas College. There's not a GT option to build those in. But there is for AP and on-ramps because we do have some flexibility in how we're providing the high school curriculum. So when we're talking about the differences, a lot of parents go, well, okay, well, what is the difference? Why should I take one over the other? Well, first, to be able to do this, your student did need to qualify in GT. And like you've seen at the junior highs, there are specific ones that they can qualify for. They can qualify for an English, a history, or a science. And if a student is taking it as a GT section instead of just like a regular AP or a regular on-ramp, what we're seeing here is that we've got similar ability peers in those classrooms together. We do differentiate as much as we possibly can inside of those courses that we're allowed to the extent by College Board and UT. But what you need to understand in this is that all students, whether they're in a GT section or a non-GT section, all AP students are still working towards the same AP exam at the end of the year. College Board does not differentiate a GT exam and a non-GT exam. It's all the same exam. Same thing with UT on-ramps. You're going to see that the students are all working towards the same college credit. It does not show up on a UT transcript as a GT credit versus a non-GT credit. So what we're seeing is that it gives us the flexibility to change some things with the rate of learning and how quickly we're going through material, the opportunity to build in some independent study pieces. And also there is a larger focus on the depth and complexity, so the depth that we are taking the learning inside of these. The other question we're often asked by parents is, well, if I don't take the GT version of these courses, is my student removed from GT services? And that is not the case. They are still qualified for GT services because in RISD, we are stating that we're providing our services through AP and on-ramp. We just have this extra extension built in with the GT sections where we can do some more specialized pieces. And if you choose not to go into the GT sections, the question is normally asked, well, can I still sign up for the next year? And yes, you certainly can. So if you don't take them as freshmen, you can certainly go back in and you could sign up and take those as sophomores. All right, last two things I'm going to go through real quick because I know I am probably over my time. One is we're in the process right now of sending out this information to all of our 8th grade families. So in the last couple of days, or maybe even today, you saw something come through talking about college credits courses while you're in high school. This one-stop shop is where we took all of the things, just like Carrie said, I talk too much too, but this is where we take all these things that we've just talked about and we put it all in here in one little succinct area for you. You're going to find about definition of courses. It talks about AP, early college high schools, because that's what these PTEC programs are considered at Lake Highlands. It talks about Dallas College. It talks about dual credit within our CTE programs in the University of On-Ramps dual credit program. Bigger question on here is, once my kid earns these credits, how do I transfer them on? So here's directions and information about how credits can be transferred. What courses are available inside of RSD? And to me, here's the most powerful piece of all of it, a side-by-side comparison chart. Because if you're like me, I can sit and listen to all of this, but I really need to see them laid out side by side. So you'll see AP, dual credit, and on-ramp. And like we were just talking about, with the prerequisites in AP, it's open enrollment. But for dual credit, you have to be a current high school student. You're going to have your parent approve, but then you do have to have a TSI score to be able to start a lot of these classes. When you come over here to on-ramps, they're open enrollment. You don't have to have a TSI score to be able to get in. So as you go down through it, here's a comparison of credits. Here's a comparison about how the instruction is provided, with which ones are high school teachers, which ones are college teachers, how the college credits are then accepted, locations for taking them, course registration. Course registration just opened up. You're going to find that the majority of these options are going to be inside of those course cards. So as you're going through your course cards, check those out. And the last thing on here I'm going to point out is about cost. Because with AP, the cost that is associated with that is the cost that you will be paying for your AP exam. The cost that is associated with dual credit, there is no tuition or books cost, because Dallas College, along with RSD, we are taking care of that for you. The only cost you would really be at is the cost for transcripts when it's time to pull your transcripts and have those sent on to schools. And then the same thing with on-ramps, is that you're going to see tuitions and books are going to be free for our families based on what we have done with UT to set that up. And then the cost that's associated is going to be the cost of the transcript. If you are interested in learning more about all of the different courses that are inside, you can go down here and you will see that we have listed out all of the different AP courses. There are 34 that are currently available through RISD. You will see that these are available through GT sections also, what grades we recommend those through. Same thing with on-ramps. I will say one last thing about the on-ramps piece is that with the on-ramps, because we are dealing with college credits, we did put on here how many college credits each one of these classes are worth, because some are worth 4, some are worth 6, some are worth 3. And if you're not familiar with that, that can get a little confusing. And then the very last thing we have on here is Dallas College. There are actually 80 different dual credit courses that you can take through Dallas College. We have put the ones that are the most popular on here, which you're going to find are our core courses. And then of course, the ones that Mr. Simmons will talk about in a moment that are aligned to our PTEC. So Ms. Burns, thank you very much for allowing me time to get on and share information. I'll stick on at the end so we can answer questions about things. And I promise I will be quiet now so that you can move on, but thank you again.
That is so much good information. I really appreciate that. I know just thinking back a few years ago, I was so confused by what all of that meant and what is a quality point. That was one thing that came in the chat room a couple times. And so I answered in there, but I just want to review that with you. But the question was, what is a quality point? And so I just answered that that's extra points above your earned grade. And then those are the same for whether there's a GT on that or not. If it's the on-ramps for the AP class, they're all getting the 10 extra points. So.
Correct. So for the quality points, they're earned at the end of the semester, not every quarter. Student has to earn a 70 or higher to be eligible for the quality points. It is 10 quality points for all of the college courses, so dual credit, AP, and on-ramps. And just like you said, There's no differentiation of additional points or not additional points. If it's GT, they all still get 10 points. And I saw someone ask about the link. I'll drop the PowerPoint back in so that everyone has access to that. And yes, whoever asked the question about, my office had been sending out the emails with the information about the college credit that we just shared with you in that one-stop shop.
I have somebody that might want to check your audio.
Well, it's me. I'm about to
Oh, it's you.
talk.
Okay.
Sorry. So
Oh, great.
I went
No,
in and went
it's
on
all
mute.
good. Okay, you must be Paul. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Jump in and give your presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for all that great information. I'm at my daughter's gymnastics practice, so she might come up and hug me in just a second, but I know there's people behind me, so I'm going to be exactly 5 minutes. So what I'm speaking about is I'm going to piggyback off Ms. Swanner and talk to you about our, hold on, I'm on my tablet, so I'm going to try to share my screen right now. How do I just had it.
I was going to say, if you need to send me the link to it, I can pull it up on my computer and I can share for you while you're talking.
Okay, I think I just got it. Hopefully something's moving. They're sharing, but there's nothing sharing, right? Okay. Do y'all see my screen?
We see it. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so P-TECH is, if your child is interested in dual credit or on-ramps classes, they're very motivated. Doesn't matter like wherever they stand in high school at the time, but if they're motivated in order to take those dual credit classes, P-TECH is a concept that was started by IBM, and it's started by IBM for students to take dual credit classes that build towards a career pathway, because IBM noticed that there was a lack in the workforce and they wanted more able workers. And they said, well, how do we get these workers? Well, let's go ahead and facilitate high school kids and help build those careers early so they can take dual credit classes and then build towards an associate's degree in high school, and then either go into the workforce or go to a 4-year school while they're already built those relationships, that understanding of college and understanding of a career, and then move forward and work for IBM. But how it's grown and developed so much is that now we at Lake Highlands High School have developed pathways, and we have 3 different pathways. We have business and administration, criminal justice, and construction technology. So if your student is interested in any type of entrepreneurship, business, becoming a manager, a CEO, working in the sports business industry, building their own business, it's a great pathway for them. Criminal justice, there's many different careers in criminal justice. And then construction technology, whether it's real estate, architecture, design, even like road design, conceptual design, there's many different concepts for them. Now, what our students do is we try to build a concept towards a career pathway. So you see here pictures of the owner of Fat Straws is our great friend. And we always have our business students go up and have an entrepreneurship lesson. We see in the bottom left, founders and owners of Firehouse Advertising have a great relationship with our students. We take our kids to different field trips, whether it's the esports gaming facility, the Mavericks Leadership Conference. We're always, every month, we're having a work-based learning concept or lesson for our students so that they can be able to understand more about careers and pathways. While learning about these career pathways, we set them up in dual credit classes like Ms. Swarner was talking to you about, which is all free from Richardson ISD. And we actually create the pathways for them so that they can follow a curriculum and then be guided towards an associate's degree. So if they finish all their classes, they'll finish with an associate's degree and up to 60 hours of transferable credit. So if they want to go to in-state school, this is an amazing opportunity for them to have their 2-year associates already completed and then transferable to UNT, University of Texas, even Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, LSU. A lot of surrounding schools accept these credits, UTD, UTA. But also, if your student wants to go to a private school, TCU or SMU, it's a great resume builder because we're helping them build connections in the workforce. We're supplying them with internships. We have a construction student now who already has a job offer right now out of high school, but he's going to go to Texas Tech on a scholarship. And then after he goes to Tech, he's going to come back and work with this company in like architecture and design. So we're sending these students up, not just to build an associate's degree, but to finish and to understand this is the career I want to go into. So we have business, we have criminal justice, and then we have our construction technology pathway. I have the picture here of the Rams, the Super Bowl stadium. One of my friends was actually a designer of that stadium, and they do work-based learning with us, and we're having them come up for some guest speaker opportunities and to build relationships with our students as well. And then all the different career paths that we're trying to help guide our students in to see that, you know, a lot of us were professional students, but we want our students to be professionals so that when they finish high school, they're college ready, they're career ready, and then they have the support needed, not to just go to college and fail, but they're already that college student ready to go and be successful in the workforce, right? And in that, like I said, that would be 5 minutes, and I think I'm right there close to my time. We have an entrance form that you can fill out. And I'll put these into the chat. I'll put these into the chat, and then you can email me or Miss Pettigrew, and Miss Anderson's our P-Tech counselor. So paul.simmons@risd.org, tessa.pettigrew, and joycelyn.anderson. See, the great thing about P-Tech is that we also give your kid tons of support. We send them up their freshman year in what's called a P-Tech Avid class, to where they're all cohorted and that they're able to grow and develop together. We're monitoring their grades. We're constantly with them. I'm on Lake Highlands campus and J.J. Pierce campus, so I'll be bouncing back and forth, working with the kids, working with the students. Miss Anderson will, Miss Pettigrew will. And then as they grow, we're cohorting them in their advisory classes. We're staying close with them. It's a lot of monitoring for these students. And yes, they can be in extracurricular activities. We have tons of students that are in band, football, basketball, baseball, tennis, golf. A lot of our kids are very, very active, and we encourage that and we support it. And in this, finally, P-Tech is pathways and technology to early.
Paul. Did we lose Paul?
I think so.
Okay. I didn't know if I was lost or if he was lost. Okay, well, it sounds like he was done with his presentation. So that was great information about that program. Okay, I would like to introduce Rhonda Boston, who is a counselor at Lake Highlands High School. Hi, Miss Boston.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
We can, thank you.
Awesome. I just saw a question about the P-Tech Pathway course. Yes, if you want to take AP Human instead of World Geography, you can. So I just wanted to let y'all know, since this, I think the chat will be accessible too. I'll just type yes, you can take. So it'll be in there. We have met with all of your students with the exception of the 8th period students, and I believe they're being pulled from their English classes, and we will meet with them tomorrow afternoon. So they've gotten all the information they need. They also have a Google Classroom link, which they can access through their Google Classroom, their Chromebooks. I'm going to type that classroom code in the link and they can sign up for it. And it has to be, again, accessed through with their RISD email. And you can get all the links to the brochures and class information about the different course offerings. And I get a little mixed up with my alphabet. It's, I wonder if I can delete.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
HLF.
Oh, it's hard when
PRPD.
the
Okay.
passwords are so weird.
I'll keep mine short. Like I said, we met with everybody except with the exception of 8th period for tomorrow at Lake Highlands Junior High School.
Okay.
And then if you have any questions, I'll be available in the chat.
Perfect. I also wanted to introduce the Lake Highlands and the Forest Meadow counselors. If y'all want to, Ashley's getting her kids ready. If y'all just want to give a little update to the parents on just where they stand with their schedules, and then we'll open the floor up to some questions when y'all are done.
Parents, I think all the Lake Highlands Junior High parents are probably sick of all the emails from me. They've gotten lots of information. But like Miss Boston said, your kids should have brought home a course card today, unless they're in 8th period, they'll do it tomorrow afternoon. We, because of the snow days, had to reschedule everything. So if y'all have any questions, you know, you can reach out to me anytime. Thanks. Thank you, Wildcat Y'all. So I love this event. It's way better live and in person, but it was really, really good tonight. So thank you for all the information.
Thank you. And what about Jennifer Broussard? Are you still on here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to like figure out what room to my children. Hi everyone. Yeah, so the Lake Highlands High School counselors came and met with all of our students. I know there's a few that we missed that were out that day, you know, for different reasons, and so we're getting those kiddos all caught up. But parents, you know, there's still time to make, you know, changes if needed, and we can take care of. So I know the process can seem a little overwhelming, but we're here to help you. So yeah, thank you.
Do you mind, I know this will come up in the chat, but do you mind saying how, like any deadlines that they can make changes, and kind of any dates that they need to keep in mind?
So
Yes.
the course, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Okay. The course cards say at the bottom that they're due back. The yellow carbon copy they got say they're due back on the 18th, next Friday. But I keep telling my kids, like the first time we went through PGP, the second time we went through PGP, today going through course cards, like there's just no need to stress yet, because they're going to get verification letters in March, right after spring break. And that's when I tell them, like, now's the time to really make decisions. And now you can stress a little, because I really need you to decide in March. And that's the last chance for changes. And we'll be communicating with parents more in March.
Okay, that sounds good. We have a couple parents here that are available to answer questions, just experiences with their kids, or any other topics you can think of. I want to introduce Renee Day, who has a freshman and a senior. Is there anything you want to add to that, Renee?
No, I just just a little bit is that I have a daughter who's a senior, a son who's a freshman, but experience has been like night and day, like two totally different experiences. I can't believe they're at the same high school. But I was thinking today, like the most important thing and where I get most of my information is really, there was a mom's chat that was started at the junior high. And for our boys, it was only boys, and it was moms. And so that's almost like having a group chat of, hey, what's your kid doing? Or has anybody taken this course? And a lot of the moms in there have older moms, older kids too. So, they ask a question about tennis. Well, I have that experience from Grace. And anyway, it's been great experience. Like Highlands has been wonderful for both of my kids so far.
Thank you, Renee. And then one of our other guests is Lynn Mercer, and I'll let you introduce yourself and your kids and what they do.
I have a junior son that's a junior at the high school, obviously, and he is a baseball player. And then I have twin boy-girl twins that are a freshman. One is my daughter's playing golf, and then my son is also a baseball player. So we've kind of been through a lot of the sports discussions. I know sometimes it's confusing to make a decision what extracurricular activities you want to do or not do. And I would encourage anyone with questions. I think Renee's suggestion about reaching out to your mom's group with kids in different sports is an excellent one, just so you can get an idea of what the time commitment is. If your child is sort of interested in multiple things, how the seasons overlap and the time commitment involved, is super helpful. And you can always reach out directly to the coaches at the high school. You could just email them directly and say, hey, my kids played baseball in second grade, T-ball is he gonna be okay to play on the team? They can kind of give you an idea of what the different sports and sports levels involved, how many different teams they have, what the tryouts are, when the tryouts are. All that information is kind of good to have going into ninth grade planning.
And I think to say too, that the coaches and the counselors, whatever question you have, they've heard dumber. So you just have to assume that, because I feel like I've asked some pretty dumb questions, but we have the absolute best counselor at the high school too. From the time Grace enrolled the first time, they had to change her schedule 3 times because she made the tennis team and then orchestra, and you trying to fit everything in, and you really rely a lot on the counselors. And I can't say enough great things. I was told not to name her so nobody else would get her, but but we've really used our counselor resource too. And we email is what we do a lot, is like, you can just go online and focus. Their email is there, and they're very, very, I found the teachers, the counselors, and the coaches very responsive. I will also say the coaches in high school are like 1,000 times more organized than the junior high coaches, at least the ones we've had. So not to knock the junior high coaches, but I found that was more helpful too. They definitely, like Lynn was saying, they can give you their experience. They were good resources too for kind of what the kids could do and couldn't do.
Thank you, ladies. And then just for myself, I have 2 boys at the high school. I have an 11th grade son and then a 9th grade son. And we have experience in all the classes, on ramps and GT and pre-AP, and which is now called advanced, just so y'all know that. Anyway, but I will open the floor up to any of the staff or to the parents. And I'm just going to look in the chat room to see if there's any questions that we can answer for you guys. I see lots of links. If you haven't had a chance to get in the chat room and copy any of these links, it looks like it's full of all the slides that we saw tonight and all the information. There is one question. I don't know if Mr. Simmons is still on here. Can someone clarify the difference, excuse me, between the healthcare pathway within the public service endorsement versus the PTEC healthcare program? Anyone?
If Mr. Simmons isn't on here, and my 9th grade daughter is in the healthcare program. In 9th grade, it's basically an introductory class. They don't get into specifics, but if you think they might want to do something in the healthcare field, from what I was told, and the reason we enrolled her is the majority of the kids that end up taking it all 4 years through that pathway, it does help you get into medical school or college or look good on a transcript as far as having those basic skills. And then when they get to be a junior and senior, they spend their first period class actually at Methodist I can't remember the exact name. I think it's Methodist Hospital now, Methodist Richardson. I'm not sure. But they do a lot of practicum experiences. They learn how to use an ultrasound machine. They learn how to take pulse, sort of all resume building experiences, and just to help them determine if this is something they're really interested in doing. Last year, I think they had a lottery because they did have so much interest in the program. So there's a lot of very specific, complicated instructions on how to get signed up in the Dallas College system. If you're interested in doing that, I would definitely reach out to your counselor and they can kind of give you the instructions on what's involved in that. My daughter's really enjoyed it. It is a dual credit class, so there is more involved with it, but she has really enjoyed it.
So Rhonda, I didn't know if you wanted to jump in or if you wanted me to jump in with some differences in that also.
Can you jump in? Because since Joy's been doing dual credit, I'm out of the loop.
Yes, I will be happy to help. So
Thank you.
you're exactly right.
And there's a question about on-ramps algebra 2 being self-taught in the chat.
Okay, so we'll go down through those. You're exactly right in what you were just sharing about the healthcare pieces. The one that is the P-TECH is actually a dual credit healthcare program. So the students in that program are taking their healthcare courses, the majority of them, through dual credit with Dallas College. And so the students at the end, when they are finishing, they're going to have the ability to earn a certificate for what they've completed. And then just like you were saying, they can take that certificate, they can go ahead and start working, or they can transfer on. They may want to go into a 4-year school to continue with what they're doing into a nursing program or such. The other healthcare program that was on there, I was trying to see how the question asked it. The healthcare pathway is just a traditional high school healthcare pathway. It's going to introduce you to some basics in healthcare, but the one that is going to be the one that's going to be tied in with the P-TECH, the students in that, their freshman and sophomore year, they are taking courses there at Lake Highlands. They are dual credit courses, and then they are transferring over to the over to the hospital their junior and senior year. They'll take a lot of classes over there. And it does give them the capability of, one, working in a true high school setting. Hospital setting. I'm so sorry, I keep saying high school. It gives them the opportunity to work in a hospital setting. They are really getting to work on things just like students who would be at Dallas College taking healthcare classes over at El Centro. And so our students are coming out with these college credits very specific that you don't find in the traditional. And what you were discussing about signing up, when you are signing up for the very, very first time with Dallas College, it can be a very confusing process because you do have to go through and actually register as a Dallas College student. And that means there is information your counselor has to complete and send in. There is information the parent has to complete and send in. And there's information that the students have to complete and send in. So in regards to timelines with that, if your student is interested in wanting to do the Dallas College P-TECH pathway for the healthcare, the counselors will be coming over to the junior highs, meeting specifically with those students and helping them go through and start the process of getting a Dallas College ID and getting them to sign up so that they can start the enrollment paperwork that has to be done digitally with Dallas College. We do have to send in all of our rosters in March for who's going to be taking courses. So if you're interested in that, there are some tighter timelines when it comes to the dual credit piece than what you see in just the traditional sign up for high school courses. And there was something else you mentioned that I wanted to talk about too, and I don't remember now. So I'll come back to that later. Does that help explain the difference between the two, or are there other questions that we can help answer about that?
I don't see any more questions in the chat about that. I'll touch on a few in the chat. Someone's asking for the dual credit or the Dallas College. Is that in lieu of a high school course or in addition to the required high school credit courses?
So if a lot of our students are taking these to go as the high school credit. So for example, if you wanted to take US history, your junior year, because that's normally when students take it, you have like 5 different ways you can take US history. You can take it as an on-level US history. You can take it as AP US history. You can take it as dual credit US history through Dallas College, or you can take it through on-ramps. When you take it through Dallas College, you are taking US history as a college level course, and the grade that you earn in that college level course will be placed onto a Dallas College transcript. And then it also will go back onto your Lake Highlands High School transcript. So there's different ways to take the courses. If you're going to take them as dual credit, it's going to go down as a high school and a college course.
Thank you, that was clear. The next question on here is if they choose a course now in March, but then once school starts and they decide to drop the class, or when they get their courses in August, when can they drop the class, or do they have to stay in there until the drop date?
For traditional, just regular high school courses, or for which courses?
It doesn't specify which one. Maybe we can talk about both. And then they want to
Rhonda?
know if the grades they've made go with them, if they change like the level of a course at the drop date.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'll just read it from here. If we choose a course now in March, but decide to drop the class once we get our courses or our schedule in August, are we able to do that? Or do the students have to go to that class until the drop date?
So it depends on what kind of class it is. The higher end decisions are based on what the students select. So in the case where there is an elective class, we don't make changes out of electives. Typically with advanced classes and AP classes, students are able to drop at the 4-week period and then again at the semester. If, for instance, I'll use AP Human as an example. Let's say Susie earns a 50 in AP Human, and she decides, okay, this class is too hard for me. I need to go to on level. So then she goes into World Geography in the spring. Because she earned a 50, she's going to have to average pass. That 50 stays on her transcript. And then in order for her to pass for the whole year, because she earned a 50, she would have to average pass with a 90 for the next semester in World Geography.
And when we're talking drop dates for on-ramps, it's set up the same way as the AP, that it drops at the 4th week. But for Dallas College courses, it's truly based on the Dallas College calendar. And usually that's like the first 12 school days in, they have an opportunity to, and when I'm saying school days, Dallas College school days, because they don't start classes the same time we start classes. So on the 12th date, that is their last opportunity to drop a Dallas College course without it going on a college transcript as a W. If they choose to stay in, the next time to drop is like usually in the fall, November, usually in the spring, it's April. But if you drop at that point, you will receive a W on your transcript, and whatever grade you have in those classes will go with you to the new class that you're going to. That's going to be your starting grade there.
Okay, thank you.
And then Swanner, I have a question about, so like I said, we're, now that we have a dual credit counselor on campus, I'm not sure how to answer this question about the healthcare pathway, because I thought that only students in the P-TECH program could take the healthcare classes. Is that not the case, or?
They can still take some of those like basic high school things, Rhonda, but when we're talking like everybody's got to have a health credit per se to graduate. But if we're talking about the ones that start you into those nursing pathways and things, those will only be for the P-TECH. So if I made that confusing, I'm sorry.
So are they allowed to take principles of health science then if they're not in P-TECH?
My understanding was no, but we probably do need to go back and check with Courtney and Christy to confirm that.
Okay.
Can I make the recommendation that if somebody has questions about the healthcare pathway and the P-TECH to reach out to who?
To
Joyce
Anderson, she's the dual credit counselor over at Lake Highlands who works specifically with these pathways.
Okay, thank you. I have a question that was sent to me that's not on the general chat. What is the endorsement on the course card?
So there are 5 different pathways. There's STEM, public service, business, and industry, multidisciplinary, and arts and humanities. And all those are based on taking certain classes. And all of that's listed in our Chart Your Course book, which is connected to that Google Classroom link. You can see the 5 pathways and then choose one.
And are the students bound to those classes in that pathway, or is there some flexibility?
I'll let Swanner answer that one.
Well, it depends, because if they're in like a CTE set of courses that they're specifically having to go through, there's not really a lot of flexibility in that, because they need to start and finish within that program. But if we're talking about like a humanities where there's not as many CTE courses, then yes, there could be some flexibility in how you change some of those out. For example, like the STEM pathway picks up a lot more math and science. Well, maybe you want to change it to the humanities. Your basic classes inside of it, if your English and histories are all going to be pretty much the same, what's going to change inside of that is maybe are you having to take a 4th year of science or math that you don't have to take inside of humanities?
Okay, I think it can be a little overwhelming as an 8th grade parent thinking, oh, my child is choosing this for all of high school. So there is some flexibility there if needed. Okay. Okay, I think if anybody else is looking at the chat, I think we've answered everything. Oh, wait a
I
minute.
think there was a question about the on-ramps math
Yes,
class.
algebra 2. Yes.
Okay, I
sorry,
see
this
that
is
on the
taught
now.
twice. Yes.
So what you need to understand is when On-Ramps puts together their math courses are set up as problem-based learning sort of courses to where they are not taught as a traditional math class. What they do inside of the math classes is that they will give the students information and things that they're needing to work on. And then they really do have the teacher guide the students to where they need to go. So where the students consider this a lot of self-teaching, it's not really that it's self-teaching, it's more the fact that they're exploring and they're figuring out how to solve for these problems. So that's how UT has that set up. That's how they set up all of their math. They set up their Algebra 2 and their pre-cal this same way. But I will tell you, it seems strange and it seems sort of weird when you're thinking about it, when you're used to what's a traditional math class, but the students who come out of those on-ramps math classes are so much stronger in math and future courses than what we're seeing in others because of this teaching style that UT is using.
Thank you. And even though people are saying that it's self-taught, there are teachers in the class. I just want to say they're teachers. Kids are not sitting in there by themselves, teaching themselves math. I have a kid in an on-ramps pre-cal class now, and it's hard, but he's working hard at it and he's being successful. So I'll just add that in. Okay. I think we're good. I think we will wrap up to respect everybody's time since it's 8 o'clock. And if you have a question that was not answered, I apologize for that. But I think we have lots of links in the chat here. As y'all probably know, all the RISD emails are first name dot last name. So you can figure that out pretty easily. And the Lake Highlands website is very user friendly. They have everyone's contact on there. So if you and then if you have a current 8th grader, your own counselors have all of this information as well. So I hope this was informative and we appreciate your time and we would love your donation. You will see the fruits of our donations as your kids come to high school and see all the really cool things that are going on. So I will wrap this up unless anybody has anything else in closing. I think we're good. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good job.
You're welcome.